For nearly 80 years, one nation has stood above all others. Its military reaches every corner of the globe. Its currency flows through every economy. Its culture shapes how billions of people dream. But empires don't last forever. Rome fell, Britain faded, and today, cracks are appearing in the foundation of American power. The question isn't whether America is strong. The question is, can it stay on top? To understand where America might be going, we need to understand how it got here. In 1945, the world lay in ruins. Europe was rubble. Asia was devastated. 50 million people were dead. But America? America was untouched. Its factories were roaring, its cities were intact, and it possessed something no other nation had: the atomic bomb. The United States didn't just win World War II, it inherited the Earth. Within a few years, America built an empire unlike any in history. Not an empire of colonies, but an empire of influence. It created the United Nations, the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund. It designed the global financial system around its own currency. The Bretton Woods Agreement made the dollar the world's reserve currency, meaning every nation needed dollars to trade. Then came the military umbrella. America stationed troops in Germany, Japan, South Korea. It formed NATO, the most powerful military alliance ever created. It built a navy larger than the next 13 navies combined. Suddenly, global trade routes were protected by American carriers. Global conflicts were shaped by American interests. But military and economic power weren't enough. America exported something more powerful: a dream. Hollywood made the world fall in love with American stories. Blue jeans became symbols of freedom. Rock and roll, jazz, hip-hop, American culture became global culture. Young people in Moscow, Mumbai, and Manila didn't just admire America, they wanted to be American. By the end of the 20th century, after the Soviet Union collapsed, there was no question. America wasn't just number one, it was the only one. So what keeps America on top? 5 pillars hold up American dominance. First, military supremacy. America spends more on defense than the next 10 countries combined. It has over 750 military bases in 80 countries. Its technology is a generation ahead. Stealth bombers, nuclear submarines, drone swarms, satellite networks. No nation can challenge American military force directly. This isn't just about winning wars. It's about deterrence, about making sure wars don't happen, or when they do, they happen on America's terms. Second, economic dominance. The American economy is still the largest in the world, 25% of global GDP, the home of Apple, Amazon, Google, Tesla. Wall Street remains the center of global finance. When America sneezes, the world catches a cold. When the Federal Reserve raises interest rates, currencies collapse in distant nations. Third, the dollar. 60% of global reserves are held in dollars. 80% of international transactions use dollars. Oil, the lifeblood of civilization, is priced in dollars. This gives America extraordinary power. It can print money and export inflation. It can impose sanctions that cripple entire economies. Lose access to dollars, and you lose access to the global economy. Fourth, technological leadership. Silicon Valley isn't just a place, it's a symbol of American innovation. The internet, the smartphone, artificial intelligence, social media, these were born in America. The world doesn't just buy American technology, it thinks in American technological terms. Fifth, alliances. America doesn't stand alone, it leads a network of democracies. NATO in Europe, treaty allies in Asia, partners across the globe. These alliances amplify American power. They turn American interests into collective security. For decades, these 5 pillars seemed unshakable, but nothing lasts forever. In 2001, America was attacked.
And in response, it launched 2 wars that would drain its treasury and test its spirit. 20 years in Afghanistan, a disastrous invasion of Iraq, trillions spent, thousands dead. And for what? The wars didn't break America, but they exhausted it. The world watched as the superpowers struggled to defeat insurgents in distant deserts. The aura of invincibility faded. Then came 2008, the financial crisis. The American banking system nearly collapsed. Millions lost their homes, their savings, their futures. The crisis spread worldwide, but it started in America. Suddenly, the model of American capitalism looked fragile, even reckless. And while America stumbled, someone else rose: China. In 1980, China's economy was smaller than Italy's. Today, it's the second largest in the world and growing. China builds cities overnight. It manufactures everything. It's investing trillions in Africa, Asia, Latin America through the Belt and Road Initiative. It's challenging American technology with 5G networks and artificial intelligence. It's building a military that could, in a decade or two, rival America's in the Pacific. China isn't alone. Russia has reasserted itself, challenging American interests in Europe and the Middle East. India is rising. The European Union, though fractured, represents a massive economic bloc with its own currency. But America's greatest challenge might not be external. Internal division. American politics have become tribal warfare. Democrats and Republicans no longer just disagree, they see each other as enemies. Trust in institutions is collapsing. Trust in media, in science, in government itself. Mass shootings, racial tension, a pandemic that killed over 1 million Americans and revealed deep dysfunction, an insurrection at the Capitol. America looks less like a confident superpower and more like a society tearing itself apart. Then there's the debt, $35 trillion and climbing. Every year, America borrows more just to function. Eventually, creditors might demand their money, or worse, they might stop lending. And the dollar? Nations are quietly trying to move away from it. China and Russia trade in their own currencies. Saudi Arabia is considering selling oil in yuan. If the dollar loses its dominance, America loses its greatest weapon. But before we write America's obituary, consider this. America has been here before. In the 1970s, after Vietnam, after Watergate, during stagflation and gas lines, experts predicted American decline. Japan was rising. The Soviet Union seemed resurgent. Yet within a generation, America surged ahead. Why? Because America adapts. Its economy isn't controlled by the state. It's driven by innovation, competition, and risk-taking. When industries die, new ones are born. When companies fail, entrepreneurs build new ones. American universities remain the best in the world. Students from every nation come to Harvard, MIT, Stanford. That brain drain feeds American dominance. The military isn't weakening, it's evolving. Drones, cyber warfare, space command. America isn't preparing for yesterday's wars, it's preparing for tomorrow's. And despite the chaos, American democracy endures. Power still transfers peacefully most of the time. The system bends, but it doesn't break. China, for all its growth, faces problems America doesn't. An aging population, a surveillance state that stifles creativity, and economic growth built on debt and ghost cities. Perhaps most importantly, the world still wants to be American. Immigrants risk everything to reach American shores. They don't flee to China. They don't dream of Russia. So where does this leave us? Empires fall when they stop believing in themselves, when they become complacent, when they fight yesterday's battles, when they forget what made them great. America is at a crossroads. Down one path, renewal. Investment in infrastructure, in education, in technology, political compromise, restored trust, a new recommitment to the alliances that amplified American power, a new generation of leadership that faces future challenges instead of refighting old wars. Down the other path, decline, deepening division, crumbling infrastructure, mounting debt, isolationism, a world where China sets the rules, where authoritarian capitalism defeats democratic capitalism, where the American century becomes a memory. History suggests that great powers don't collapse suddenly. They fade, slowly at first, then all at once. Britain didn't fall in a day. It took decades of small defeats, missed opportunities, and denial. The question isn't whether America can remain number one. It has the resources, the talent, the geography, the advantages. The question is whether it will, whether it has the vision and the unity to adapt to a world that no longer bends automatically to its will. Because the 21st century won't belong to whoever was strongest in the 20th. It will belong to whoever wants it most. Will America remain number one? The answer
Isn't written yet. It's being written right now, by choices made in Washington and Beijing, by voters and soldiers, by entrepreneurs and citizens, by you. The American century isn't over, but its future is no longer guaranteed. And that makes this the most important moment in American history since 1945. What happens next will echo for generations.